Hi, welcome to your festive yoga class. So just a little half an hour of yoga, just over the Christmas period to keep you nice and warm, feeling strong, feeling ready to go. I'm just going to move that over just a slight bit there. Wonderful. So feet just hip width apart to start with. Soften through your knees, engaging through your core, just rolling your shoulders up, back and down. And start to inhale, extend through your arms. Exhale, releasing your hands behind your back, clasping your hands, just stretching it through to where you can. And begin to sink down into intense pose. So we squat down, lift through your chest. Just make sure your knees aren't collapsing in. Just keep them wide and pushing your weight into your heels. So if you can just wiggle your toes so that I can see you're definitely in there. And begin to exhale, hinge forward from your hips, straightening the legs and tucking the head down. Soften your knees and inhale to rise back up into that intense pose. Releasing the arms and rise, palms together and squeeze. Just one little swing here and inhale, rise. Exhale, clasping your hands back behind again, roll the shoulders and sit back into intense pose again. So sit your hips down as deep as you can. So intense pose from the side. Looks a little something like this. So trying to lower those hips down as deep as you can. Make sure your heels aren't off the floor and your knees aren't coming forwards. Exhale, hinge forwards and down, tucking in the crown of the head. Bending your knees and rising back up again. Good. Rise, inhale, sweep and swing again. Just one, hold at the top. Exhale, release, clasping your hands behind, open through the chest, sink down in that intense pose again. Lift and lengthen, exhale, fold forwards. Tuck in the head, soften the knees. Gently release, rising back up, releasing the arms. One last sweep and swing here. Hold at the top. And last time, just clasping your hands back behind you as you open through your chest. It's amazing how warm you can get just doing these simple little movements. Exhale, hinge forwards and down. Just let the head hang there. Release your arms either side of your feet, tucking the head down. Inhale, standing arch, lengthen through your spine, pushing your tailbone back. So remember getting that nice length through your back, so try not to arch through your back. Real length as much as you possibly can. Exhale, fold. Step back into downward dog. Hips up and back, space between your shoulders and your ears. Slowly float forwards into plank position and come down onto your knees. Elbows in as you exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, lift through your chest, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, child pose. Sit back in your heels and stretch it through. Pushing back into downward dog, hips up and back. And see if you can lift your right leg in the air. Bend the knee and swing that leg through between your hands. Wonderful. Dropping that back knee down. And extend, so palms together, squeeze the buttocks, drive your hips forward as you lengthen and gently release. Hands come down to the ground, lift off your back knee and step both feet back in the centre. Exhale, fold, soften your knees and inhale, rise. One little sweep and swing here, hold at the top. Exhale to clasp back behind you and sit back into intense pose again. Deep breath in and exhale, fold forwards. Releasing your hands either side. Inhale, hands to shins and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Push back into downward dog, hips up and back. Float forwards into plank. So either knees on or off the ground this time. As you exhale, if you're off the ground, you can come halfway and inhale through into up dog if you prefer. Exhale back into downward dog straight away this time. Lifting your left leg high in the air. See if you can bend that knee and swing the leg through. Plant it down and drop in your right knee. Inhale, reach, palms together and squeeze, driving the hips forward again. Squeeze the buttock on the right side. Nice deep breaths. And exhale, release. Hands come down to the ground. Step your back leg in and fold forwards. Soften through your knees and inhale, rise back up. And this time just exhale, hinge forwards and down, tucking in the head. Inhale, standing arch, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step your right leg back into that lunge again. Drop your hips, lift through your chest. Pushing back into downward dog, hips up and back. Floating forwards into plank, shoulders over the wrists, knees on or off as you exhale, lower halfway. Inhale through into up dog or cobra. And exhale back into downward dog. Lifting your right leg high in the air. Bend that knee and see if you can swing it through, planting it down. So this time with the leg higher up. You can place the knee down on the ground if it's easier for you, if you prefer. But try and sink down into that lunge so the back heel is off the ground, front heel is down. Try and get a nice 90-degree angle with that front leg as much as you possibly can. Nice deep breaths. And then see if you can begin to hinge forwards. So hinging forwards over that right leg. Breathe and hold there for a moment. And then come with me on this one. So we're going to see if we can pick up the back leg, let it float and hover as you hinge forwards from the hips. Breathe and extend, making sure that your hips are level so you're not twisting up and out to the side. So bring that leg nice and level. Wonderful. Slowly find the ground again. Reach up and back. And releasing your hands down. Stepping your back foot in and fold forwards. Soften the knees and inhale, rise back up. Exhale, hinge forwards and down, tucking in the head. Stepping your left leg back this time. Lift through your chest. Downward dog, hips up and back. Good, floating forwards into plank. So on your knees or full, exhale, halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back into downward dog. Left leg this time, lifted in the air. See if you can bend that knee and swing that leg through. Wonderful, so a high lunge on this side. Extending through the arms, sinking the hips down, squeezing the buttock on the back leg. Just hold and breathe there for a moment. See what you can do and slowly begin to hinge forwards from that hip. So just lengthen and extend through there to where you can. Breathing into it, trying to get that 90-degree angle with your leg as much as possible. And when you're ready, start to pick up that back leg as you hinge forwards. And just watch that hip isn't lifting and turning, so try and keep it parallel to the floor as much as you possibly can. Nice deep breaths. Slowly find the floor again with that back leg. Reach, extend, and gently release the hands down. We're going to step your back foot in, feet hip width. Exhale, fold. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Soften the knees and inhale, rise back up to standing. Exhale, clasping your hands back behind you. Open through your chest. And this time, if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can bring the feet together and push back into intense pose that way. So we're going to sit back in the intense pose just for a little while. Reaching the arms back behind you. Open through your chest. Nice deep breaths. Try and squat down as deeply as you can, breathing into it. And see if you can slowly release the arms up and at the same time, release your heels up off the floor. So nice length. Breathe. Stay strong. If it's hurting your shoulders and your arms or your lower back, you can bring the arms a little bit wider. And then lowering the heels down, we're going to see if we can step your right foot back. Coming into warrior one. So warrior one, that back heel is on the ground, front foot facing forward and hips facing forwards. So really try and extend as you sink down. Now if that's feeling really uncomfortable around here, or it's pinching in your back, you need to take your back leg and step it wider so you can bring the hips around to the front more. So just make a little adjustment to your pose to make sure it feels right for you. Stay like that. I'm just going to show you from the side. So warrior one from the side. Nice wide stance with the leg. Try and get a 90-degree angle with the front leg. Straight in the back leg. Arms reach. Sink down and squeeze through the buttocks. So breathe and hold to where you can there. Stay nice and strong with it. I know it hurts. And then slowly see if you can lift up, turn your hips out and come into warrior two. So warrior two looks like this. So you've got that front leg is straight, that's it, and the back leg to lengthen. So it's your left leg at the moment that's going to be bent, right leg that's straight. Keep trying to sink down deeper to get that position. Nice deep breath, squeezing the buttocks behind you. Stay strong with it. Wonderful. One last thing we're going to do is sun warrior. So we're going to reach up and back, sink down a little bit deeper, and see if you can wrap the back arm around. Feel for the hip on the other side. Nice deep breaths. Stay strong with it. And slowly and gently release back here. Straighten that front leg, push your hip away and release into triangle. So just lengthen through your spine, nice deep breaths, along back as much as you can. Breathing deeply into your back. Stay strong with it. Wonderful. Slowly and gently release. We're going to inhale, reach, exhale like a cartwheel, hands come to the ground. Lift the back heel and step both your feet back into the centre. Try and bring them together if you can. Folding forwards. Soften your knees and inhale, rise back up and sit down into intense pose again. That's it. So just nice deep breaths. Hold the intense pose. Reaching the arms around the back. Breathe. Hold. Just really staying strong with it as much as you can. Really sitting your hips back nice and deep. And now we're going to release those arms overhead. Breathe and sink down just a little bit further. And when you're ready, stepping this time your left foot back, so right leg is forward and sinking down deep into those hips. So again, making sure your hips are around the front of me. If it's not, you need to step that back foot a bit wider to get the position right. And you'll know when it feels right. And you don't want any pressure to be on this back knee either. If it feels uncomfortable on that knee, then you either need to step in a little bit closer and turn the heel out more, or step it wider outwards. So just nice deep breaths. Stay strong in the legs. Sink down and breathe. One more deep breath there, and if you remember, we're going to go into warrior two now. So we lift up slightly, turn it out. I'll show you from this side. So into warrior two, straight away, lengthen through the spine, sinking down into the legs. Lift through your chest and breathe. So as you squeeze the buttock on this side, you should feel a little bit of a stretch down here, and definitely some work going on along here. So breathe and hold to where you can, looking over the middle finger. Nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, sun warrior. So we reach it up and back, sink down in the legs more and wrap this arm around. Try and sink and reach as deep as you can. And just look towards the armpit of the right arm. Nice deep breaths. Stay strong in those legs. Breathe and hold. One last deep breath there and slowly release. Straighten the leg. push the tailbone away and release. Good, so just really lengthen through your spine as much as you can. Trying to push this hip away, but conscious of how that feels here. If it's too intense, just soften that knee a little bit more. But keep trying to reach that arm up and back as much as you can. Wonderful. Nice deep breaths. Keeping that length throughout your whole body. Breathing into it. You can either look up towards the top hand or look down to the ground, or just keep looking towards me. Slowly and gently release. We inhale, reach up and back, and exhale like a cartwheel. Lift that back heel, and this time step back into downward dog. So hips up and back, space between your shoulders and your ears, and just walk the feet out and away, just lengthen them, releasing any tension there. And finally, take the knees wide, feet together, and sit back into child pose. So just bring the head down, releasing the legs. So all of those warriors now have just brought some movement into our legs. We've woken up a little bit of energy in there. You've also probably feel it through your shoulders as well, through your arms. So we're going to get into a little bit of a balance, but this time it's not going to be a standing balance, it's going to be an arm balance. So this is one that some of you have practiced. So if you prefer, now might be a good time to go and get something that you can land on in case you fall, but you shouldn't if you do it right. So first things first, we're going to start in a Hindi squat. So a Hindi squat, we're going to just take your feet just to the outside edge of the mat. Place your hands into a prayer position and begin to lower your hips down, bringing the knees wide and bringing your elbows to that soft fleshy part of the inner knee. And just lower your hips down, trying to lower the hips towards the ground. Now if this is really uncomfortable for you, you can come out of it at any time you want to. But each time you come at it, you might have started up here and you'll find you'll eventually start to get your hips a lot lower. Making sure that your heels are on the ground, feet are on the ground fully, nice deep breaths. So just try and hold that there for a few breaths. You'll feel the heat coming up through your hips, but just try and stay with it for me. Keep breathing, keep that strength there. So this is preparing us ready for what we're about to do, which is called the crow pose. So in a moment, when you're ready, just move this out of the way for a moment. You're going to place your hands down on the ground, walk your feet in, and sit like this just for a minute. So I'll show you two different ways of doing this. The first one is going to be placing the elbows just to that inner soft part there of your knees, and the fingers spread really, really wide. Hands firmly on the ground, shoulder width apart. And we're going to lift your hips up and make a shelf with your elbows and see if you can lift 1 foot off the ground. And when you've done that, place it back down. You might want to sit back for a moment and have a little stretch. So while you're doing that, I'm going to show you that from the side. So this is how it looks from the side. So from here, you've got your hands flat down on the ground. Lift your hips up slightly and bring your elbows into that soft, fleshy part of your knee. And this is where you're going to lift 1 foot up off the ground. So that might feel quite strong already. If it feels okay, you can have a go at lifting the other foot. And that's where that cushion comes in handy. But what I don't want you to do is this. So make sure you're not throwing yourself into it, because that is a recipe for disaster. So have a little go now at the crow pose from that position. If you'd rather not, you can stay up into this position for now and just lift through your chest. You can extend the arms overhead. It is still a balance if you do it like that. But if you want more for your upper body, more strength for your core, then just placing those elbows in and see if you can just lift the feet up and hold it just for a moment. See what you can do. Remember, you've always got that trusty cushion or something there underneath you to help you. So just have one more little play at that. So hands to the ground, lift it up. See if you can lift one foot. If you're okay with that, try the other side. That's it. Until you feel ready that you can take both off the ground at the same time. Whew. Now after you've done that, you might find that your arms get a little bit tired. So just extending from your wrists, turn it over and push it away. And the other side, so just push down, nice and gentle, and extend through there. Just roll the wrists around, loosening it up a little bit. Wonderful. The good thing with that is it's part of a hip opener and a balance at the same time. So that makes it really quite desirable, really quite good. So following on from that, what I'd like you to do is to just come down just into this position, into the boat pose. So we're just going to lift and lengthen, bring your legs up to where you can, make sure you're right up on your sit bones. Can you extend your legs fully? This is the most advanced pose. If it feels too much, you can leave your feet down on the ground, or you can have them halfway up. So this is the easiest version, medium, and more difficult. So when you're there, extend the arms, lift your chest, make sure your back is nice and flat. Open through your heart centre up towards the ceiling. Breathe and hold and extend, feeling that length through your body. Just breathing into it. And when you're ready, just exhale, move to the side. Inhale, centre, and exhale the other way. Inhale, centre, exhale. Inhale, centre, and exhale. Hold in the centre. Separate the legs if you can. Lift through the chest. Breathe. And slowly and gently release and relax. Just stretch your back, so just leaning forwards to where you can. Breathe into it. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly setting up one last time. So just lengthen. Hold the position that's right for you. So you're either here, or here, or if you prefer down here. And if it's really quite intense, then you can just hold on, perhaps with one arm at a time. See how that goes. Just hold, and when you're ready, take it to the side. So we exhale, inhale, centre, exhale the other way, inhale, centre, exhale, inhale, centre, one more. Good. Hold and breathe. Take the legs wide if you can. Ooh. And gently release. Cross those legs again and hinge forwards to where you can. Just tucking the head down, breathe. Well done. Fantastic. Slowly from there, you can bring your feet just under the hips and gently lower down, one vertebra at a time. Relax your head down, feet hip width apart. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, peel your pelvis up off the floor. Lengthen, clasping your hands underneath, draw them down and see if you can tuck your shoulders under. Just hold and breathe in this position for a moment. Squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips up nice and high. And just try and tuck the chin down to lengthen the back of your neck. Take a few deep breaths there. And if you're feeling like you want to get more advanced in this, you can take one leg, extend it up to the sky, and see if you can lift your hips up just a little bit more with you. Try not to turn the hips, so keep them nice and level in the centre. And gently release. Keep the hips up nice and high and swap over legs. So we extend the other side, lift your hips up with you, breathe into it. Stay nice and strong, using the breath for stamina. And gently release. Placing your feet just hip width apart. Squeeze and lift one last time. And then slowly releasing the hands, lowering your hips down and draw your knees in towards your chest. And just rock them around, loosening up any tension there. That's it, just massaging out the pelvis on the ground, a little way this way and a little way that way. Good, and just coming into happy baby. So we're going to feel for your soles of your feet, extend the legs up, drop the head back down and try and bring your knees towards your armpits. Just relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Nice deep breaths. Just noticing where you feel that the most. Is it in the back of your legs? Is it in the buttocks? Is it in the calves? Where are you feeling that? Take one more deep breath here. And slowly and gently release. Release your legs. Shake them off. And gently release your arms down by your side. So from here, I've got two different options for you, which you are used to. We have done these in class before. So the first one is the easier option, which is bringing your legs up the wall. So if you'd rather do this, that's all you have to do is just lie with the legs up the wall, lengthen and extend. If you want to extend the legs a little bit further, you can. Just bringing your legs towards you and back towards the wall. So stay in that position if you'd rather do that. But if you'd like to explore the plough and shoulder stand, then follow me. So for plough, we come down, lift your legs up. Ooh, I have not left myself in the room there, so I need to go a little bit further. So let's try that again. So as you come down, push yourself up and take a hold of your back, lengthen your legs, and see if you can extend your legs back down behind you. So you're planting them on the floor. See if you can clasp your hands and extend them down onto the floor too, and just pushing into your feet to keep that length. Now if you're feeling pain along here, you might need to bring your legs up. You can always put a chair or something behind you to balance your feet onto so you can get deeper into the pose. So listen to your body the whole time. Don't do anything that feels really painful or uncomfortable. And try and straighten the legs as much as you can. Nice deep breaths. It is very, very difficult to breathe in this pose sometimes, but just try as much as you can. Take one more deep breath there and slowly walk your hands up your back. Engage your core and see if you can extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Walking your hands up higher as you extend the legs. Lengthen through your body as much as you can. Nice deep breaths. Stay strong. Stay with that length. And then slowly begin to lower again. So engage your core as you let your legs go. Back down. Lengthen. And then slowly begin to lower your legs all the way down to the ground. So if you haven't tried that before, maybe try that over this festive period, and we can see how you get on then when you come back to class in the new year. But from this position, just massaging it out. If you want to, you can place the hands under your knees. Deep breath in, exhale, reach into the centre. Inhale and exhale. Good. Holding there, just placing your feet down onto the ground. Spread the arms wide, you've always got time for this one. Dropping your knees down, turn your head the other way. And just lengthen and extend, breathing into it. Just breathing into your lower back as much as you can. Inhale, bring your knees back through to centre. And exhale the other way. So just let those legs come down and head turns the other way. Nice deep breaths. trying to keep those shoulder blades down on the ground, tucking the chin down. And slowly bring your knees back to centre. We're going to see if we can bend at the elbows. Take your knees wide, so one knee each side. Bend the elbows and extend them overhead. And just stay in this pose for a moment. Nice deep breaths. If you want to close your eyes at this point, you can. Just try and relax your hips and buttocks as much as you can. Try and balance them evenly. Expanding through your ribs as you breathe. And then when you feel ready, you can slowly bring your knees back to centre. You might want to perhaps bring your knees together, arms by your side, and just stay in Shavasana. If you'd rather extend your legs down fully and hold this position, then you can. And just see if you can stay in Shavasana for at least 5 or 10 minutes now after this. There are meditations that I will add as well, that I will send to you, that are also on YouTube. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you have a wonderful festive time. Take care.